The alien mother moves through the foggy forest, every step careful, deliberate, her feet sinking slightly into the soft moss beneath her. Long limbs, she pauses, often listening to the whispers of leaves, the faint cries of distant creatures, and the subtle vibrations that tell her the forest is alive around her. The air is thick with mist and the scent of wet earth and strange flowers that glow faintly in the dim light. Every sound sharp, every shadow weighted with memory. She carries nothing in her hands, but her heart feels heavy with the weight of loss. The tiny grave waits ahead, a small mound, barely taller than the grass surrounding it, yet in her mind, it is the center of the world, a marker of what she believes has been taken from her forever. She slows her steps, approaching it like stepping toward a wound she cannot touch without trembling. Her eyes widen as she sees the little markers, the glowing petals arranged carefully by her own hands. Long ago, she kneels beside the grave, the soil cold and damp, her hands hovering over the surface, afraid to disturb it. For fear of shattering the fragile memory, she whispers the child's name into the mist. Her voice trembling soft, but filled with longing, hoping the stars, the spirits, or the forest itself might carry her voice to wherever her child has gone. Tears run down her unusual textured skin, glistening as they catch the faint alien light around her. She rocks slightly as if the motion can coax the lost presence back into her arms. She does not notice the subtle footprints that mark the approach of a human observer, someone who has kept a careful distance, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal the truth. The forest seems to hold its breath around her, waiting, as if sensing the fragile line between grief and hope. The alien mother does not know that what she mourns is not lost, that life still exists, and the moment that will change everything is drawing near, slowly, silently, inevitable. The human steps closer through the mist, careful not to disturb the fragile scene ahead. Every movement measured and deliberate, holding the child securely in arms. The small life wrapped in soft cloth, glowing faintly from the warmth of human touch. The child stirs, slightly, eyes fluttering open, sensing the world for the first time since the loss. The human pauses, watching the alien mother kneel, tears glistening on her textured skin, her body trembling with sorrow. The forest around them hums with quiet life, small creatures rustling unseen in the undergrowth, the mist curling like fingers through branches, and alien flowers glowing faintly in the dim light. Every sound amplified by the tension in the clearing. The mother speaks softly, whispering the child's name, her voice filled with longing and despair, not knowing that the one she calls for is already near. The human waits a few steps back, allowing the mother to linger in her grief, watching how she moves, how her hands hover above the tiny grave, every gesture filled with sorrow and love. The child shifts gently in the human's arms and coos softly, a sound that cuts through the air like sunlight through fog. The human feels the gravity of the moment, knowing that revealing the child too soon could shatter the delicate balance between hope and disbelief. The alien mother glances at the flowers on the grave, her fingers brushing them lightly, remembering each petal, each memory, a connection to the child she believes is gone. She rocks slightly, her tears falling freely, the mist clinging to her skin, as if mourning with her. The human steps forward. Slowly, the child cradled carefully, presenting them in a way that allows the mother to see without fear. A sudden breeze ruffles the leaves and the mother freezes, her senses straining for any sign of the impossible. A warmth in the air, not belonging to grief. Her eyes widen. A flicker of recognition sparks deep within her heart. The human takes another step, the child shifting slightly, and the forest seems to hold its breath, waiting for the moment when sorrow meets truth. The alien mother rises slowly from the tiny grave, her movements stiff with shock and hope, every step hesitant, yet drawn forward by something she cannot name. She senses presence in the air that is not the mist, not the wind, but something living, something breathing, something impossible. Her large eyes scan the clearing, every shadow, every curve of the fog, searching for what her heart has longed for. The human remains, still holding the child carefully in arms. The small figure wrapped safely against the chest, quiet but alert, their eyes never leaving the alien mother, noting the rapid heartbeat, the trembling limbs, the hesitant steps, and the raw grief that radiates from her presence. They do not speak. They do not call. They let the moment stretch, the tension thick as fog around them, letting the mother feel the pull of life before her. The child stirs in the human's arms, stretching tiny hands and blinking at the world for the first time since separation. The sound of their small movements carries softly across the clearing to the alien mother, and something clicks. Deep inside her memory, a spark of recognition. She freezes, one foot hovering above the ground, her breathing shallow and uneven, her mind racing between disbelief and hope. The forest seems to lean closer, holding its breath. The alien mother's eyes dart from the tiny grave to the human, to the slight movements of the child. A tremor runs through her body, the weight of grief pressing against the sudden surge of possibility. Her hands reach instinctively forward as if she can pull the child through the air, and, into her embrace, the human kneels slightly, lowering the child just enough to be visible to her without breaking the fragile tension. The mother steps forward slowly, each movement careful, unsure whether the miracle before her is real or a trick of longing. The child moves again, raising a tiny hand, instinctively reaching toward the one who has mourned them, and in that moment the forest exhales. The impossible begins to feel inevitable, and the distance between sorrow and reunion collapses into trembling anticipation. The alien mother steps closer, her body trembling with disbelief and hope, each movement careful, deliberate, as if the air itself might shatter the fragile moment. She reaches forward, hands hovering uncertainly above the child she thought was gone. The forest holds its breath around her, mist curling gently through alien trees and glowing flowers, casting soft light on the tense clearing. The human remains still, kneeling a few steps back, arms steady, holding the child safely wrapped in cloth. The small figure, quiet but alert. The child shifts slightly, eyes blinking, opening to the world for the first time since loss, and the alien mother's heart leaps 1,000 times in a single beat. She leans forward slightly, her tears glistening on her textured skin, catching the alien light, the air thick with emotion. Memories flood, her mind flashes of the child's small hands reaching, laughter echoing in alien corridors. She whispers a trembling name, barely audible over the wind, and the forest responds with soft rustling and distant calls of unseen creatures. The child stretches tiny arms, instinctively reaching toward her mother, and a gasp escapes her lips. A sound of wonder, disbelief, and relief all at once. The human waits, silently, giving space, allowing the mother to approach, fully trusting that the reunion must be earned, not forced. Every careful movement measured to honor the fragile connection forming in the mist. The mother kneels fully this time, hovering over the child, and the air seems to shimmer with the impossible truth. The alien mother finally gathers the child into her arms, clutching them close, trembling sobs racking her body. The child coos softly, nestling into her warmth. The human steps back respectfully, letting the moment unfold naturally. As the mist swirls around them, the tiny grave behind them becomes a distant memory, a symbol of grief, transformed into hope, and the forest seems to exhale in quiet approval. The mother rocks the child gently, whispering promises she thought she would never speak again. Her tears, a mixture of sorrow, relief, and overwhelming love, and the human watches, silently witnessing the miracle unfold, knowing that even across worlds, patience, understanding, and courage can restore what was thought lost forever. The alien mother holds her child close, rocking slowly back and forth, her tears falling freely onto the soft alien moss below her feet. Every sob a mixture of relief and disbelief. She whispers promises she never thought she would speak again, her voice trembling yet filled with the strength that comes from the deepest places of love and longing. The child nestles into her arms, cooing softly, a sound that pierces the lingering fog like sunlight through mist. The human steps slightly back, giving space, their presence steady and silent, yet full of warmth, every movement deliberate as they watch the reunion unfold, knowing the fragile balance could shatter with the wrong gesture. The child shifts slightly in their arms, reaching instinctively toward the mother, and the mother gasps, a shiver running through her body, as recognition flares like fire in her heart. Around them the forest seems alive with unseen energy, small creatures stirring softly, leaves rustling as if in applause, and the mist curling in slow ribbons between trees, catching faint light from glowing flora. The alien mother breathes deeply, inhaling the scent of the child, of the forest, and of life returning to her arms. The human watches respectfully, understanding that nothing can rush this moment, that trust, patience, and presence are stronger than any command or force. The mother presses her forehead to the child's soft skin, whispering memories, names, and promises she had clung to in grief, each word a thread stitching together the long gap of absence and loss. The child stirs, instinctively responding to the warmth and sound, recognizing the bond, even without memory, a living connection that transcends language and species. She looks up finally, tears streaking her face, eyes shining with joy, sorrow, and wonder all at once, and the human nods, softly acknowledging the completion of their role, allowing the mother and child to reclaim what was thought lost. The tiny grave behind them fading into the background, a symbol of grief transformed into hope, the forest's silent witness to the impossible reunion. The alien mother holding her child, feeling the weight of loss, lift replaced by love reborn. The alien mother cradles her child tightly, rocking slowly, her body still trembling from the flood of emotions, grief, relief and awe, all tangled together. Her large eyes never leaving the small face pressed against her chest. The child curls instinctively into her warmth, tiny fingers grasping her textured skin, as if claiming what was lost forever. The forest around them seems to lean closer, soft mist curling in gentle spirals through the alien trees, casting ethereal light across the clearing. The human steps back a few paces, giving them space, their hands still holding the empty cloth that once wrapped the child, their eyes fixed on the reunion. Every movement deliberate, allowing the mother to adjust to the reality before her. They feel the tension in the air slowly ease, the weight of fear and uncertainty lifting as recognition and love fill the clearing. Instead, the alien mother whispers the child's name again, a trembling sound that echoes softly through the mist, and the child coos, lifting tiny arms, instinctively reaching toward her. She gasps, a sharp intake of breath, her chest heaving with a mixture of disbelief and wonder. She rocks the child closer, pressing her forehead gently against theirs, murmuring promises she never thought she would speak aloud again, words spilling freely, tears streaming over her cheeks. Around them small creatures stir and the leaves rustle softly, as if the forest itself approves. The human watches silently, knowing their task has ended, that the fragile bridge they built between sorrow and hope has held strong. The child moves slightly, lifting a tiny hand toward the mother, and she responds instinctively, clutching them tighter. The connection undeniable, raw and unbroken. The mother finally straightens slightly, holding the child close, her breathing slowly, even though her heart still races. She gazes at the human with a quiet gratitude that does not need words. The forest hums softly around them. The tiny grave behind them, a distant memory, a symbol of loss, transformed into something else, a reminder that patience, trust, and presence can heal even the deepest wounds. The alien mother sits on the soft moss, still holding her child close, rocking gently, as if the rhythm could erase the years of fear and absence, her eyes glistening with tears. The small life in her arms cooing and stretching instinctively toward her. She traces tiny hands over the child's delicate skin, marveling at the reality that they are truly alive. Humans stand silently a few steps back, watching every movement, noting the subtle changes in the mother's posture, the way her body relaxes slowly as disbelief gives way to recognition. The child wriggles slightly, and the mother laughs softly, a sound of wonder and relief spilling into the mist. The forest around them seems to respond. The leaves shiver as if whispering congratulations, and alien flowers tilt toward the light. Filtering through the fog, the mother murmurs the child's name over and over, her voice shaking yet strong, each repetition a thread stitching together the broken moments of separation. The child's eyes blink open wide, taking in the alien features that are now familiar again, their tiny hand reaching out as if to anchor themselves to the mother. The alien mother gasps, a soft sound of joy, disbelief, and awe, all at once, and her tears flow freely down her face, sparkling in the mist around them. The clearing feels suspended in time, the fog curling in gentle spirals, the distant sounds of the forest softened as if holding its breath to witness the reunion. Small creatures peek from behind alien flora, their movements careful and silent. The human watches, respectfully understanding that nothing can rush the fragile bond forming, nothing can force what must be discovered slowly. The alien mother finally lifts the child higher, gently examining their features, marveling at every detail, at every movement, at every breath. She whispers promises she thought lost forever. The child responds, instinctively recognizing warmth and voice and presence. The human steps back completely, allowing the moment to exist, untouched, and in the stillness of the forest, the mother and child are whole again, the impossible made real, the gap between grief and hope bridged by love, patience, and courage. The alien mother cradles her child close, rocking gently as the mist swirls around them, the forest alive with quiet life. Every rustle and shimmer of glowing flowers echoing the fragile joy in her heart. She whispers promises and memories, soft words that weave a bridge between the years of absence and the miracle of reunion. The child nestles against her chest, tiny hands clutching instinctively the textured skin of the mother, recognizing warmth, presence, and love. Even without memory, the human watches silently from a few steps back, giving space and time, letting the mother and child exist fully in the moment. Every movement careful and deliberate, they feel the weight of sorrow lift slowly, replaced by awe and wonder. The child shifts slightly, cooing softly, and the mother laughs, a sound that vibrates through the mist and soft moss. The rhythm of their shared breathing, a quiet symphony of relief and recognition. The forest seems to lean closer, branches bending gently as if to observe, glowing flowers tilting toward the light filtering through the mist, small creatures peering cautiously from hidden places, the clearing suspended in a moment outside. Time filled with emotion, raw and unguarded. The alien mother murmurs again, her voice trembling yet strong, and the child responds with small movements, curling closer, instinctively drawing reassurance from the mother's presence. The tiny grave behind them fades into the background, a symbol of loss transformed into hope. The mother lifts the child higher, examining features, marveling at every detail, at every breath. Her tears streaming freely, a mixture of sorrow and joy. The human steps back completely, understanding their role is done, their presence simply a witness to the impossible made real. The alien mother rocks her child tenderly, murmuring promises she never thought she would speak again. The child nestles closer, eyes blinking at the world, and the forest holds its breath, the moment suspended, delicate and profound, a reunion born of patience, courage and love. The clearing bathed in soft alien light, the impossible real and unbroken. The alien mother stands, slowly rising from the soft moss, the child still cradled gently in her arms, every movement careful, deliberate, as if the air itself might shatter the fragile peace around them. She glances down at the tiny figure in her arms, marveling at each breath, each subtle movement, the soft warmth that reassures her the impossible has become real and the child is truly alive. The human watches quietly a few paces behind their presence, respectful, giving space, letting the mother and child reclaim what was lost. The mist swirls softly around them, glowing flowers casting gentle light over the scene. The forest alive yet silent, as if holding its breath to witness the final moments of reunion. The tiny grave behind them fading into memory, a symbol of sorrow, transformed into hope. Alien mother whispers softly promises she never thought she would speak aloud, her voice trembling with relief and awe. The child coos, lifting tiny hands, instinctively reaching toward the mother. She leans down, pressing her forehead against the child's, gently rocking, slowly feeling the connection solidify, the weight of years of loss lifting, replaced by a profound joy that fills every fiber of her being around them. The clearing seems suspended outside time. The leaves rustle softly in approval, the mist curling around trunks and alien flowers, the forest bearing witness to the power of love, patience and courage even across worlds. The human steps back, fully allowing the mother and child to walk forward together, unhurried, their bond unbroken, their grief transformed into something stronger than fear. The mother takes the first steps with her child close pressed to her chest. Every footfall careful, reverent. She glances briefly at the human with silent gratitude, and the human nods, softly acknowledging the role played without words. The alien mother and her child move through the mist, the forest alive with quiet life, the impossible made real, and love prevailing where sorrow once reigned.